Of the 4 bakers, ZOE was the most unfortunate. ZOE had to witness her family slowly transform into psychopathic cannibals. After all, she was the only baker who wasn't being controlled by Evelyn. She would not cooperate with her family's need to kill or any other sadistic practices that occurred in the baker home, and because of this, ZOE was completely outcasted from the family. During the Daughters DLC, I sense a bit of rivalry between ZOE and Evelyn. Perhaps Evelyn wanted ZOE to suffer seeing her family become monsters in order to truly cement her place as the daughter of the family. This probably explains why ZOE is still conscious and not insane. But what Evelyn did not realize is that ZOE would find the research on what created Evelyn and what is needed to create a serum to destroy her. However, progress on the serum was halted thanks to Evelyn's sadistic need to toy around with ZOE.
Sister.
3 years had passed since the initial infection of the Baker family, and time for ZOE was running out. During these 3 years, ZOE would attempt to help kidnapped victims of the Bakers to escape or have them help her find the serum. Unfortunately, all of them were unsuccessful, and eventually she knew it was too late for her family. ZOE was close to being completely infected when Ethan Winters arrived to the Baker home, who would endure and survive all of the horrors that past victims could not.
You made it. You're the first I've ever seen make it this far.
Ethan successfully finds one piece of the serum, but before he meets ZOE to complete the serum, she is taken away by her brother Lucas. Lucas is the polarizing opposite of ZOE. In other words, Lucas represents the bad sibling, while ZOE represents the good. Now they do seem somewhat the same age-wise, and judging by this fairly old photo of the Baker family, there is a possibility that Lucas and ZOE are twins. Not identical twins, of course. This plays into the myth that one twin is born good and the other is born evil. There's a small and horrifying story within Resident Evil 7 of a boy named Oliver. Lucas and ZOE were just children when Lucas tricked Oliver and trapped them into the attic. ZOE wanted to help Oliver escape, but Oliver is kept in the attic until his death. 15 odd years later, it seems as though ZOE's and Lucas's relationship has not changed much. Ethan frees ZOE from Lucas's grasp and she creates the serum. Sadly, Ethan is forced to use one of the only 2 serums available and is cast with the choice to disinfect ZOE or his wife Mia. As you already know, there are 2 possible endings because of this. In choosing ZOE, you will ride away on a boat, but Evelyn quickly kills ZOE, ending her storyline. In choosing Mia, however, ZOE is left behind in the Baker house. Now this is where the discussion begins of whether ZOE is alive after the events of Resident Evil 7, because she is simply left behind and her fate is uncertain. To challenge the possibility of ZOE surviving, she is seen in the strange dream hallucination scene. The only Bakers that aren't present? Marguerite and Lucas. Marguerite was killed indefinitely as her body crumples up, and at this part of the game, Lucas is still at large. The reason why only Jack and ZOE was present in the dream is because Jack was actually cured with what was supposed to be ZOE's serum. In other words, ZOE and Jack are freed from Evelyn's control at this point, but the 2 still remain within Evelyn's consciousness. I know, pretty complicated, right? Now the reason I believe that ZOE is no longer alive at this point is because A, she appears in the dream, and B, Umbrella operative Redfield reveals that there are 0 survivors at the Baker home after leaving ZOE behind. However, I did find this little note inside ZOE Baker's trailer, so maybe she's still alive. In conclusion, the Baker family is a huge tragedy, but I feel that ZOE Baker was actually supposed to be the main character at one point, because she's the only Baker that we can actually relate to in terms of all this crazy shit that's happening around us. What do you fellow nachos think? Be sure to comment down below your thoughts. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay single.